How many of you has had a coach, teacher, or other leader that has influenced or changed your life? I have, and I have interviewed one of the coaches that has changed my life for the better. Her name is Dana Fusetti, and she is a former D1 college softball coach and a current travel softball coach based out of Greenville, South Carolina. Softball is a sport that I've been involved in my entire life. I've been around it my whole life. My brother played baseball. I've grown up watching baseball on the TV. My dad is a huge Yankees fan. It is a sport that has given so much to me and so much more than I really could have ever imagined. And because of that, I want to give back to the sport. I can't see myself being around anything other than softball, and it is my dream to one day become a college softball coach at the Division I level. In this interview, I have asked Dana. I wanted to understand why Dana coaches, some of the reasons why she coaches, some of the struggles that she's had, any advice for future coaches, and really kind of the basis on how she coaches and what she does as a coach, because I wanted to understand more about college softball in a coach's perspective, because I've been able to play softball now for UNCG for 2 years, and I've been able to be a college softball player, but I kind of wanted to see what it's like to be a college softball coach. So the first, Dana has been coaching for over 25 years. She's been around the sport her whole life. She's played internationally and professionally almost at every single level that you can play at. And she is a former D1 coach for USC Upstate in Spartanburg, South Carolina. One of the first questions that I ended up asking Dana was why she started coaching. She told me that she had a different answer for this than most of her colleagues, because most of her colleagues has always wanted to be coaches and things like that. She said she started coaching because she never wanted to get away from the sport. She had played her whole life, she'd been around it her whole life, and it's really all she had known. And when it came time that she couldn't play anymore, she didn't know what else to do, so she became a coach, and she didn't want to leave the sport. So then after hearing that answer from Coach Dana, I asked her if that answer had changed any over the years. And she said it definitely has changed some. Now she coaches because she has seen what softball can do for so many different people. And she wants to be an advocate for that and continue to be a coach for that. She gave me a specific example of one of her players that she coached on her travel team. Didn't have enough money to go to college, so she wasn't going to be able to go to college. But because of her ability to play softball, and her softball skills, she was able to receive a full scholarship and actually go to college and graduate and become a professional, which is pretty cool, and that's the reason why Dana continues to coach. So after learning why Dana continues to coach, kind of what motivates her every single day, I asked her if there were any challenges and what's the most challenging part about being a Division I softball coach. So she gave me an answer like there are a lot of different tasks to do every day. You have to schedule a lot of different things like practice times, weightlifting times, things like that. But really the most challenging part, she said, was building a culture and continuing that culture. And what she said she meant by that was that there are values that you want to instill in your team, and there are values that you want to instill to be champions and be championship caliber teams. And she said instilling those values year after year into your players and the players that you recruit is very challenging. So after learning that there's more to college softball coaching than just actually coaching, really, I asked her what she knows now that she wished she knew then. So what she knows now after her 25 years of experience that she wished she knew when she was just starting out. She said that this is kind of a tough question, but she wishes that she knew that it was about the journey instead of the destination. So that it was about the grind and the journey to championships instead of just the championships. She said the journey is where you grow. The journey is where you learn more about yourself and who you want on your team and what you want on your team. what you want your values to be and your culture to be. And that's really what coaching is about. And she wishes that she knew that when she was starting, so that she wouldn't have gotten so frustrated, and she would have been able to do things better than she did. But then after that, she said that she wouldn't change a thing, because it was about the journey to where she is now, and that's what made her the coach and the person that she is today. So after learning that it's about the journey, I asked her kind of like, what's an important attribute for a college coach to have? She laughed at this one, and she said that there are so many different coaches and so many different personalities that there's not just a recipe for one specific college coach that's going to work for everybody, because everybody's different, which that made a lot of sense. But she did say that the most important thing for a college coach to have is a love for the game of softball, and to want to continue the game and continue to teach people. So basically just an undying love for the game, and you'll be successful no matter what then. So lastly, I ended up asking her one piece of advice she had for future college softball coaches. And she said that you just need to remember that it's about the journey, and that everybody's different, and that every coaching style is different, and there's no one certain way you can do things, but just to remember that it's about the journey, and to always love the game and respect the game, and you'll be successful. So the three main points that I interviewed Coach Fusetti about were why she started coaching, if there were any, struggles in her coaching, what was the most challenging part about coaching, and what was the most important thing for a college coach to have. And I feel that I've learned a lot through this interview, and I've learned a lot about what it takes to be a college softball coach and how to make it your own. And I've learned a lot more about this profession than I did going into the interview.